name is Katie. I'm from Inishbofin. I live in West Quarter. My dad plays the fiddle and so do I. My two uncles play the accordion and I Shannon's dance.
My name is Dara and I'm from Inishbofin. I play the tin whistle. My mum sings and my uncle Michael Joe plays the bodhrán and also sings. And my auntie Alice also sings.
There's a sigh of the weary, hard times, come again no more.
My name's Mary Lavelle. I'm from Inishbofin and I live in East End. I learning to play the fiddle and I Shannon's dance. Kevin Abeta is my neighbour. He plays fiddle and he's teaching us.
My name is Grania. I'm from Inishbofin and I live in West Quarter. And my two grandparents, Patsy and James, are great singers. I play the fiddle and I Shannon's dance.
The fiddle and the accordion was the instruments that was played here. I never saw a bodhrán or a banjo or a guitar until the later years. I remember the two Clarity brothers, Peter and Paddy. They had been playing here for years and years before we were born. It was fiddles they played ever.
My grandfather and my granduncle learned to play the fiddle in America when they were young men. They did a lot for the music around here. When they came back to Ireland then, they used to play all along the coast in the winter time. They'd go from South Connemara all the way down to Mayo.
From what I've heard of them now, and it's only what I've heard, but I would have heard it from people who would have known them, that they were like musicians ahead of their time for, you know, coming from a place like here even, where there wouldn't be teaching the music wouldn't be the thing of the day. They were exceptional.
My uncle Petty in Florida, he taught me a lot of people in this island how to play the fiddle. He was no great player himself, but he enjoyed, you know, helping people to learn how to play. He taught Desi O'Halloran when he was going to school, and Desi kept on and he's famous today.
My earliest memory of dancing in Boffa. The tools used to come in from Cleggan sometimes that time, you know, the two tool brothers, Sean and Paddy. They were two fine box players. They used to play at the dances too. After that, Christy and Tommy Hallam grew up then, and they kind of take over, and Michael Burke and John King, Leo Concannon. There only got a few players, but Tommy Hallam, now Lamar Sim and Christy Hallam, and they'd be playing here. Very good music.
Now these are men that wouldn't be playing at sessions, because sessions wouldn't be a part of the pub scene and those things. It'd be mostly house dancing and in the school hall. And if there was somebody going to the States or Australia or whatever, there'd be a big party where they go and they'd have music, and that's where these fellas would be playing.
There's always been a link from each sort of generation down. Some one or two people have kind of carried it through from one generation to the next. And I know that, say, of the older people I remember, Michael Burke, Tommy Holler and Christy Holler and those people, the next level down to them, next generation down, kind of for me would have been Desi Holler and Vincent. They would have kind of carried the music through. lot of other people on the periphery that kind of could play but didn't play very much. I was quite young, but I remember Christy O'Halloran, whenever somebody would ask him to play, the box would come out and he'd play a few tunes, and then it would inevitably get passed around. And one night in particular, I remember 14 people played that accordion, and they were all locals. So that kind of gave you an idea of the extent of the music here at the time.
I think I was humming music before I really started playing it. And I'd be here around the house and I'd be humming reels. And I was wondering then, would it be possible sometime to get an accordion, or where would I get an accordion? But all I could think of was an old dry battery we used to have in the back of the radios that time, a dry cell battery. And it looked like an accordion, but it wasn't an accordion. But I used to hum along, so I used to put thumbtacks into it, 9 or 10 thumbtacks, and hum along.
My mother, Marie Tierney, she left Inishbofin and she went to the States, and she met my dad, John Abeta, and they met in California, and that's where I was born then. We all came over here in 1983, October it was. Where I took up the music was, well, for one, I was listening to it all really around here. I didn't really take it up until I went to secondary school. I learned a few of the Michael Burke's tunes, like, you know, and myself and Michael Burke had a regular gig in the Days Hotel, the small bar, just called it. And that was £10 each a night and free drink. Myself and Michael Burke on the Friday and Saturday. Tommy Halloran would join us then on the Sunday, just for the Sunday, like, and play a couple of tunes.
Pub sessions were mighty when they started in, I suppose, the early 80s really. And you know, you could have music 7 nights of the week. There was some great talent, both here and coming, like, you know.
I suppose nearly every musician that ever played a tune in the traditional scene has been through the island here over the last 30 years. The Canes, then Matt Malloy, I suppose, came, and the Lennons. Sheridan Shannon then came with Desmond, and
James Galway even joined us one night for a session down the pub. The Inishbofin Kelly band formed, it would be the early 80s. We used to be playing in days and playing in Morris. We started going to Galway and we were playing the Concannon, playing in Taffs. We progressed from there to go to Dublin and places like that, maybe a couple of times in the year, you know. So then, of course, we kind of had to have a name.
And we did a gig, I think, in the Concannon Bar in Fawcett Street, and on the night there was no name. And I think that Nora just put the Inishbofin Kelly band on the poster on the door, and that stuck.
There's a dear little isle in the western ocean, an island of purity purity, holy and grand. Our name fills our daughters and songs with emotion. When
if there was a dance in some house, there'd be someone, you know, the fiddler or an accordion player, and there'd be a few fellas singing songs and in the school, and like there was a dance in between when the musician got tired, they shout to someone to sing a song. And like it was kind of regarded as bad manners, not you. Do you know what I mean? Even though you mightn't be a great singer.
We learned a lot of songs from James when we were young fellas. Because fair play to him, he was always singing. He's still singing.
Francis Holleran sang a good bit. Desi O'Holleran sang a good bit. James Coyne and Patsy are always singing at the sessions.
And the joints that contracts and all the boys and chords and drank and whiskey. There's the truth I drank and so come down and out the day. Come down and out the day. And you hear my father's day today.
There was another character that sang some of his own songs, a man called Bernard Tierney. He used to sing a few songs, a lot of them the ones that he'd written himself.
Now listen, my friends, and I'll sing you a song. Sure, it's only a few verses and I won't keep you long. Concerning a lassie who came from Carna. Sure, I'm sure you've all heard about Nancy McGrath. Now the first day she landed on Boffin's sweet isle. Sure, the boys when they met her they all wore a smile. One said to the other, she's my heart's delight. Sure, I must get dressed up and I'll see her tonight. Now the lassies of Boffin are sweet and refined, but since Nance came to Classy, they're all left behind. There's no other girl with her can compare. She's the primrose from Carna, she's Nancy, my dear. Now, that's one of Bernard's now.
Now the school kids have access to music teachers and dance teachers, and dance has taken over big time among the younger kids. There are some fantastic step dancers around now, Shanos dancers.
My grandfather could dance and play the fiddle, and he could also play the fiddle behind his back. Martin Halloran would be Tommy Halloran's father. Was a great dancer. He was a very heavy man, but he was like a feather when he went to dance. To see all that coming back into the island again is so good. Especially with the children nowadays, they're learning the Shanos, and you know, it's a delight to watch them.
I think the younger musicians that are growing up today, they have a bit of the past as well and a feeling for the tradition, and there's a few of them there now. Liam King there, and I mean, he has accomplished so much in his playing, and he's still a young lad, and like Padder, his brother, and Luke.
Growing up around here, there's so many like older musicians, and there's just always music going on, like especially during the summertime, like nearly every night there's something going on. Like that's kind of, it's hard not to be influenced like by it when you see everyone having the crack, and it just makes you want to do it, and it makes you appreciate it a lot more when there's such a variety of talent around, I suppose.
Oh, and when will you return again? And when will we get married? When will you return again? And when will we get married? When broken shells make Christmas bells. We might well get married with me to Raya for the diddle diary for the diddle
Play the first part twice, second part twice, first part twice, second part, and then go into it.
I started playing when I was about 8. I learned off my dad. Got a few lessons over the years from Joe Burke, and I used to go down to the Willie Clancy week down in Milltown, Malby, and just to learn a lot from that, you know.
Nowadays it's easier to pick up music. Teaching is there from a very young age. My own girls and their schoolmates, most of them are playing music, and it's great to see like a place or people without music and that kind of an atmosphere that it creates. I think would be very boring and a dull place.
The accordion playing was kept up, but I was glad to see the fiddles coming in for like the combination of everything, you know. So it's prosperous now again, yeah.
I think there's more taking up the fiddle at the moment. Like I'm teaching, there's 11 in the 3 classes. There's, I'd say, 4 that's really has an interest in it, you know. The others have an interest as well, but you have to make it interesting for them. Like, you know, I suppose if they don't find any interest in it, they won't go at it, like, you know. It's like, it'd be like homework, you know. Nobody likes homework.
Oh, all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all that I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all.
Sure, I love your green hill and your murmuring fountain. I love you, my own dear native land.